bus on the Barber Bus Talk Show. We finally, at long last, got Mr. Kevin Maxson. So, got an interesting subject.
Am I recording?
It's already recorded. Yeah, we already in. So, first off, I'm gonna say this: there's no capping allowed. No lying, no capping, no fabricating allowed in this production. So, I sense that you capping any type of way, I will call you. It's just that's all I like to hear. That's what I'm talking about. So, what we're gonna do right now is I'm asking you a question. I want you to just go ahead and express what you think about it. We ain't gonna get all extra deep, but we're just gonna keep it real. Now, first subject, I have two for you. You're a deep brother. Do you feel as though women and men can be platonic?
Yeah.
Really? Why? Well, how you feel it?
Because sexuality don't define a relationship. You can have a relationship based on compatibility and friendship without sex in it.
Okay. So let me ask you this. So you think just because sex is not involved that it's not a thought?
People have various thoughts throughout the day, so you can't really pinpoint what their thought process is. A person can have attraction to somebody but not be intimate in a romantic way. There's different variations of love.
You don't think that men and women are meant to be connected in that way? You think that's how we're made?
Yeah, because we're created to be intertwined, so to speak.
Right.
Everybody that you like ain't for you.
No, that's facts. That's facts. Okay, let me throw a scenario out there for you. You're a pretty known guy. It's no lie that you have an attraction to the fair sex. They women like you. You know what I mean? You got the light eyes, you're light skinned.
If you say so.
Okay, now you put the vocabulary. You know this already. If you say so. So here's the thing. That being the case, right? You might not have no attraction for this female. You might legit be like, yeah, she's cool. We can be cool, we can be friends, whatever. But what if she got feelings? What if she got feelings? Like, how could that be? How could it be a platonic situation if she got feelings? Just because you don't?
But that's what you can understand. It has to be a marriage of equality, reciprocation. If it's not reciprocated, then it's a platonic relationship. You're going to have many people in your life that are attracted to you, but that don't mean you have to be attracted to them.
That's facts.
You can't force nobody to care about you.
Do you think that, okay, now, there's a lot of people that don't believe men and women can be platonic. They don't believe that man and woman can be friends. A lot of people feel like that. Now, do you feel like it's wrong for somebody who is in a relationship to not be comfortable with a platonic relationship? You have to be close up to a platonic relationship.
Well, that depends on the structure of your relationship. If your relationship has insecurities and doubts and vulnerabilities, then I can understand why a woman would be unwilling to compromise or a man. But if you don't got a history of things that make that woman insecure, then I really see no reason why she should ever be insecure about another woman or a man insecure about another man if you are secure in the relationship.
I feel like in my experience, man, I feel like most women I ain't gonna say most, I say every woman I've dealt with has had some sort of insecurity in one way, shape, or form. Whether it's a huge insecurity, she's just super jealous, or just little small ones where they're, not as noticeable. But my thing is like this, right? I don't think any woman is gonna be cool with their man hanging with a female, especially if she's an attractive female. Whether you say the situation is platonic or not, you don't think the adjustment should be made if you're in a relationship or not? They should still be having the same friendship.
That depends on stipulations within your relationship.
All right, let's say this. In your situation, not your relationship, with you being you. If you had a platonic girl that's a friend, right? Y'all been tight. And your girl is not comfortable with it. She's not comfortable with your relationship. It could be cool, but she don't want you hanging with her alone. She don't want you going places with her chilling. How do you feel about that?
like, with me disassociating myself with somebody who was my friend longer than my relationship, be detrimental to who I am as an individual, because it's a matter of integrity. That if you know you are being faithful, if you're a trustworthy, loyal individual, then you should never have to change who you are to compromise for somebody else's insecurity. Like, you can't dictate my life based upon experiences you had in your past. That's not fair to me as an individual. Like, I have many female friends who've been my friends for over 30 years. It's never been nothing intimate, it's never been nothing sexual, and they're my friends. I can go to their house and chill, I can go out with them and drink, and it never be anything negative to come from that. Now, a part of going into a relationship, you have to be transparent. So you would tell your girlfriend, listen, this is my best friend, she's like my sister, my family, we go out and kick it from time to time. If you got a problem with that, maybe this shouldn't work. But now if that friendship is a deterrent, if that friendship is toxic and it causes adverse negative effects in your life and your relationship, then I can understand why the girlfriend would be like, I don't think that relationship's healthy, you know? But life is an evolution, so is relationships. Through experiences throughout your evolution, you become stronger, but you also use it as a mechanism to learn. So if you ain't learning in life, just going through life blind, you're going to learn, you're going to grow. Like seasons, people grow and seasons change. Nothing stays the same. It's a perpetual cycle of change and evolution. So it depends upon what type of standard you're trying to set in a relationship. Because you could be in a relationship, be totally faithful to a woman, have platonic relationships on the side, move in with that woman, and that relationship is not what you thought it was going to be, because you never know a person until you live with them. So
that's true. Very true.
But if I have a friendship, a lifelong friendship, I'm not going to end a lifelong friendship for a relationship that's not etched in stone.
That's true.
You know, relationships start off by attraction and lust, and everything else you must build upon with trust, loyalty, and respect, and all them different things. They all evolve into that. So if this person's been tried and tested throughout my life, why would I cut them off for something that may not even be permanent?
That's true. Alright. Here's an argument somebody might have. They might say, well, I'm sure you had friends. Alright, I was away for a while. We both homies, we boys now. But I've been away for a while. You ain't seen me in a while. We still good friends, great friends, like brothers. But I've been around. So like, what if it's a situation where you got a girl that's been a friend for years, but they maybe moved away for a while, now they moved back into town, right? And I don't know this friend, you never brought this friend up, but we have been friends for a while, it's just they've been away. What they feel like that's like us, a new friend, is really not. Like,
but see, that's where transparency is essential. Like, when you date a person, there's going to be a series of questions they're going to ask you. She's going to want to learn about you, and you want to learn about her. Things like that. You just talk to her about openly. Like, this is like my best friend. She moved away, but like, this is somebody I consider a sister. This is somebody I can talk to when I'm having issues, or I can depend on. She's been tried and tested. She has proven herself in my life, and I will never turn my back on this individual or cut her off for a relationship. And if the woman is truly into you and values your commitment to her and her commitment to you, she wouldn't make you make that compromise. She wouldn't make you make that sacrifice to justify her vulnerability. It all goes into the individual asking you to cut a person off. What are you asking that for? What has this person done to you that makes you want to do that? How is she a threat to our relationship if we live together? We have finances and bills tied into one another. We have raised children together, or I'm helping raise your child. We spend most of our time together. You see me every day on a day-to-day basis. How is a few moments of my time going to compromise the integrity of our relationship if you truly love me unconditionally? You know? So it goes into what makes this person so insecure.
I think insecurity is a very prevalent thing. And I think we ain't gonna go into why, but I'm gonna go briefly into why. The whole social media thing. It's a lot of insecurity built upon by that. amount of access people have to each other. But I think that how do you deal with that? Like if you got a girl that you into, that y'all together, and you love her, and yes, you're sure, yes, your girl, but yeah, she's so insecure. How you deal with it? Like how is that even? Is that something that is like a deal breaker?
It's a process. Everybody carries baggage, wounds, and scars from their past. When they're willing to let those things go, then they can progress and grow and move forward. But that's them. That has nothing to do with me as an individual.
Right.
I didn't create that.
Right.
That was created by somebody else, and you chose to hang on to that and use it as a mechanism to self-sabotage any relationship you entertain in your future and your present. So you are the creator of your own disasters and failures in relationships. Until you are willing to let those things go, it'll be impossible to move forward in a committed relationship.
Okay. You think that maybe some people just should wait before they get to a relationship?
Absolutely. If you just went over a bad breakup, you should give yourself the opportunity to heal, to evolve, to grow, to learn from that. Because every bad relationship isn't meant to cripple you. Some of them are just lessons to prepare you for your future, to make you that much stronger, that much more intelligent, to make you more selective. Some people get out your way so you can find a person you should be with.
That's facts.
But see, people got to get over the sexual element and the comfortability of whatever that relationship was. Nothing's meant to last forever.
Nothing in this world.
And see, the problem with most relationships, people go into relationships assuming that because they're engaged with an individual, that person belongs to them.
Ooh.
That's a delusion.
That's a very big delusion.
Don't no person belongs to you. They're their own unique vessel.
Right.
That person has the right to make his own decisions and live his life at his own means. So when you try to dictate somebody else's life, that's when you come into failure. You set yourself up for disappointment. You can't control relationships.
You can't control people at all.
That's a fact.
At all.
And humans are prone to error. So humans are prone to error. Humans are going to make mistakes.
Facts. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of, I talk to a lot of people, obviously, because I'm a barber and I get around a lot, you know what I'm saying? I'm homeless, so I see a lot of different types of people. And a lot of this stuff I'm seeing, a lot of the issues people have in particular relationships stem from those insecurities. Not just the, platonic friend thing. There's other stuff too, But like you said, I feel like a lot of those insecurities, if not all of them, are built from past experiences. And some people say, well, that's just how I learned from them experiences, and that's why I like that. But you can't put somebody else's baggage or what somebody did to you on somebody else.
Yeah, that's called deflection, and that's what people do. Yeah. I'm not secured as a void within my heart from a past relationship that I really still want to entertain, but that has failed. And now here I am in front of you. Now I want to shape you into my idealism of my past previous relationship, minus all the flaws of our relationship, but I want to build you up to be my ideal man based upon that individual.
So you want to make you the better version of him or her.
And people do that.
Ooh,
that's selfish.
That's so true.
That's so selfish.
Say that one more time, because I don't think they understand. These viewers, break this thing down one more time, because this is important. It's ladies and gentlemen too, but ladies, please.
So what people tend to do when they find a relationship, they find somebody whom they choose to be with, they look for similarities of their past, and they try to take all them different components of their past relationships and put them on you and deflect them upon you. And they would rid themselves of the things that hurt them from that relationship, but they would try to concoct or make a recipe for their ideal partner in you. And people do that often. And then when you get in arguments, you be like, well, so-and-so never treated me like that, or so-and-so never talked to me like that, or if I asked so-and-so for something, he would do it, or she would do it. Come on, man. If you still hold on to your past, you should backpedal to your past.
Right. Be the person in the past.
Yeah. I'm not a reflection on what he did to you or your previous relationship. I am a new person, unique in every letter of the word. You can't make me him. Accept me for who I am, or leave me alone. And that's what people need to understand when it comes to evolution and evolving in love and relationships. You can't tailor a person to be what you want them to be. They got to be their own individual for any relationship to work. That's part of progressive and productive relationship. You know, valuing people for who they actually are and not what you want them to do. That's where relationships fail at.
I think also why they fail too. I think a lot of people don't know who they really are anyway to begin with, because
people wear masks.
They wear masks, and they think I don't even think it's always the mask. It's the mask, but it's also the fact that I think people mold themselves to be what society thinks they should be, instead of just dealing with the fact that, hey, this is who I am. A prime example, bro. If you're somebody that doesn't want to be with just one woman, why do that? Why tell a woman you want to be with one woman? Why say, okay, I could be with just you?
But the thing that leads into that type of behavior is the fact that, okay, when I met her, she gave me the impression that she's everything I want to be. You in the honeymoon phase. Oh, I'm a homebody, I work, I take care of my kids, I clean the house, I cook, I don't get into no trouble, I don't talk to a bunch of different people. So she's telling you everything you want to hear, which is ideal of the woman you would like to pursue. Then y'all begin to evolve, y'all begin to walk your journey, and then you come under the impression, well, then this ain't who she told me she was. Now she took the mask off. Now she took off the makeup, she took off the wig, she took off the nails. Now you seeing her for who she truly is, and now you understand why she covered herself with so much stuff to distract you from the pain and hurt that she's carrying. She had to disguise herself to make herself appealing instead of coming at you naturally so you can see her for who she is and love her for who she is. And men do this too. Yeah, men do this too. They go get the cars, the jewelry, the nice clothes and stuff, the nice house. They do everything that attracts a woman, but once they get the woman, they don't know what to do with the woman. They don't know the first thing about loving a woman because they having trouble loving themselves. Surely you don't love yourself if you gotta put everything on to make yourself attractive. Your self-worth is based off superficial possessions and the intangible. It's not based off what you feel about yourself and how you love yourself as an individual.
You can't love anybody until you love yourself.
Facts.
At all.
That's the key of all of it.
And I had to tell somebody that before, like I was like, hey, look, in the past relationship, I'm like, you don't love yourself enough to even be able to love it. You don't have, they got offended by it, but I'm not trying to offend you. It's just that you have so much insecurity, so much hurt, so much pain, that you are allowing yourself to abuse yourself mentally and emotionally, where you can't be good to me.
But if you tell somebody the truth and it hurts them, it's only because the truth hurts the guilty.
It's rare, man.
You gotta tell somebody the truth. You gotta tell somebody how you feel. You should never bottle that up. Once we start compromising for people's character defects, we are setting them up for a bigger failure. You should always be forthcoming and honest. I'm a very honest and blunt person, and I expect people that are in my circle or who associate me to always be blunt. If I've said or done something to hurt your feelings, tell me that. We can have that conversation. Whether it's a hard conversation, whether feelings are going to be hurt, whether anger is going to be derived from it, I'm going to tell you my truth, whether you like it or not. If you don't want to hear my truth, don't ask the question, because I'm not going to sugarcoat it, because life doesn't sugarcoat nothing.
You ever hurt your feelings?
Nah, you know, my bro, like even when we were serving time, we always had intellectual conversations. These conversations we had in prison.
Yeah.
Like we had these talks. We worked on law work and talked about law work. We did things and we set plans and blueprints for when we come home. And the crazy thing about it, everything we talked about has come to fruition.
Yeah.
You know,
in the process.
But you can't control life. You can only follow the journey that you create for yourself. You can't really control what happens because life is unpredictable. And it's the same with relationships. And people who think they can control the narrative of a relationship are foolish people. They're delusional.
Like, how do you know? All right, here's my thing. And I think I find this a lot in clients, you know, when I'm speaking to them and talking. How do you know when a relationship's over? Like, how do you know it's like, hey, this is it, this is a wrap? Because I think a lot of people don't know that. They don't really know that. Even including myself. Like, I've been in a relationship way longer than maybe I should have been. You know?
But
that's a tricky question.
First, you gotta know where it started. You know? Before you reach an end, you gotta know where it started. What made this a relationship in the first place? Was you giving your all? Was everything being reciprocated? Was there a balance in the beginning? Or did it start off on a log? Was the foundation weak? You know, if the foundation ain't secure, then of course it's gonna fall apart. You know. I guess I can't say because feelings change or.
I think feelings change.
I think it's an element of betrayal or distrust that ends relationships. But people still would hold on to that relationship because they're comfortable in that environment, even though it may be toxic to them. People still hold on for whatever reason. Some people just can't be alone.
Some people thrive on the element of toxicity.
Some people can't be alone. Right.
And they're like, hey, look, I'd rather be in a toxic relationship. They won't say this out loud.
But I'd rather be in a toxic relationship than be alone.
Be alone, yeah.
And that's unhealthy in itself.
Listen, I know a girl, right, who is she's in a relationship, okay? And I only call it a relationship rightly because it's really not. But, you know, she's in a codependent relationship where the guy is basically using her. She pays for everything. She helped him open his business. She does all this stuff. He won't give her title. He won't give her time. He's just basically stringing her along, just wanting to get what he needs from her. And she spent $1,000 on this dude. And it's like the more I hear, you know, I would hear about it, the more I just be like, you don't see what's going on here.
But it's twofold.
Yeah.
Now listen, he's giving her something that she desires and she needs to feel validated in the relationship. Now she may be carrying the purse of the financial, but what does he add to make her stay? It could be sexual. It could be something mental. It could be anything. And some women and some men only entertain relationships in which they can fix the person. If they believe they're in control of the narrative and they can fix this person, they can heal this person, they can correct this person, they'll stick it out for as long as it takes, no matter how toxic the relationship is. And that goes into the individual. It always goes back to the individual.
You believe some people enjoy being used? I do.
As long as they helping somebody fixing something to justify whatever hurt or pain they repressing, yeah, some people enjoy that.
I know a lot of women and men too. I've seen dudes, man, where girls just they doing everything in this thing. I know for a fact they out here doing them, but
it's like a Superman complex. You think you can save the day and fix everybody? That's unideal. That's a fallacy. It's impossible to fix and correct everything.
Fix anybody. You can't fix anybody. They have to fix themselves. That's what you tell people.
That's the fact.
Like,
but there are people who are so insecure in who they are as individuals. They overcompensate to fill a void that's missing within themselves. They don't know themselves. But they can do all they can for everybody else and can't correct what's going on in their own heart and mind.
Maybe they're avoiding fixing themselves by fixing other people.
Exactly.
Because you might be avoiding that, because I know me. And this is just being honest, man. There was times where I knew I was in the dead wrong, but I'm trying to save everybody else. I couldn't save myself. I couldn't get myself right. But then once I start getting myself right, though, I started looking in that mirror for real, and really started working on me. Then I stopped really wanting to save everybody. And I couldn't save them anyway. The people I was trying to save was like unsavable.
But that's part of growing things.
Yeah.
This is part of growing.
We start having less friends, man. Well, relationships are tricky, man. It's like the whole thing about, you say, where relationships start. Like, if the relationship starts off good, then turns out sour. I don't necessarily think that can be a reason to leave, because I think sometimes relationships need work. But when you know it, when you know the difference between, hey, this needs work, or this is just over. Like, when you know that, like, at what level is it like a thing where it's like, this is just done deal?
When you start repetitively doing things to injure another person, mentally, romantically, or physically, when you start doing things to push this person away and not have that tough conversation, so you
basically left without leaving.
Yeah.
Once you've left without leaving, it's time to just leave. Yeah. There's no need to torture. No need to torture. I know people. I know. Damn, I have friends, a pair of friends, right? I know both for years, right? So I know both ends, and they were suffering through a relationship for so long, an unhappy relationship, because of just familiarity.
Yeah, and people say, well, I'm gonna stay for the kids, or I'm gonna stay because I don't want my family to see me jumping from man to man or woman to woman.
Or I don't want my kids to see a bunch of different men.
I'm gonna stay because I'm cool with your brother or your dad or your aunt. You know what I'm saying? People will find any excuse to hold on to a toxic relationship instead of understanding how that relationship affects you is far more pertinent and important than how it affects others. They get over the anger or whatever it is that's caused by y'all breaking up. But if you don't walk away to better serve yourself as an individual, you will be in a painful state, torturing yourself for however long, which can be a mechanism of depression, which can be a mechanism of gaining excessive weight or losing excessive weight, you know, or being combative and negative towards others.
Towards the person you're with.
Exactly.
Because I seen that too. Like, man, I've even been through that. You know, where because I had a problem being the bad guy. I don't like hurt nobody's feelings. So like, I'm keeping real. So like, I'll be in a relationship so long because I'm like, I remember this relationship happened when I was younger. Oh man, I should have left her a long time ago. I just every time I tried, here come the waterworks, the crying, you know, but I love you, and it's like, what do I do? It's like, you know, it takes more strength to leave sometimes.
And see, people throw that word love around too loosely. Love is an action word.
Yes, it is.
Love just isn't a state of being. It's an action word. It's an action. You must show people what love is to them. Yeah, you can't just say I love you and that's it. That's the be all say all in a relationship. And people get too hung up in that word.
I told somebody one time, I said, how do you love me? It's a relationship at the end, right? How do you love me? They couldn't answer it. That's how it was over. That's how it was over. How do you love me? That was the simplest question.
People can't answer that question.
Like, how do you love me?
Because the person they say I love you because what they like it.
Yeah, why? That's why, not how. Because you said it's an action, right? So when you ask how, audience, I just gave y'all something good. Ask your partner, how do you love me? Don't ask them why. Because I can come with a music bill. You're pretty, you're nice. You're pretty, you're nice, you're beautiful.
And I tell a person that.
Cook good or whatever. But if you, I want to know how you love me.
And you'll say, I love you so much. I love you. How do you know how to love me? What